What if by reversing years of unconscious conditioning, for someone who drinks alcohol and wants to stop, that person could return to the perspective of a non-drinker? Now, not a recovering sober alcoholic, but a person with the same desire, the same need, and the same craving for alcohol as someone who never even picked up a bottle, a true non-drinker. This is possible, and this is happening, and the trick is in the unconscious mind. Now, you know that part of the mind that doesn't have language, but that experts say is much more powerful than the part that you use consciously. If a person can eliminate illogical and unwanted cravings for alcohol, they're able to go back to the same level of desire for alcohol as someone who's never ever drank. And without desire, there is no temptation. Addiction literally disappears. So before I go any further, let me give you a few definitions. So we're talking about the same thing. First is unconscious. Unconscious is the part of the mind that a person's not aware of, but that's a powerful force in controlling behavior. And then there's the conscious mind. And the conscious mind is aware of something, such as a fact or feeling. It knows something exists. It knows something's happening. Now, these definitions are from Merriam-Webster. But what you might not know is that your unconscious mind is actually responsible for your desires. We usually don't go around thinking about the distinction between our conscious thoughts and our unconscious thoughts, but in reality, they form a vital piece of the alcohol puzzle. Studies confirm that we have two completely separate cognitive or thinking systems, of course, the conscious and the unconscious. And the give and take between the conscious choices and our rational conscious goals can really truly help explain some of the mystifying realities of alcohol addiction and any addiction. Now, we're all fairly familiar with the conscious mind. Conscious learning happens when you're aware of something. You have an intellectual grasp of it. Specific knowledge, procedures, you can memorize them, you can articulate them. The conscious mind has language. And when you want to change something in your lives, you generally start with a conscious decision. However, when it comes to drinking, for people who habitually drink, drinking's no longer a fully conscious choice. Of course, it started out as a conscious choice, but it became habitual. And the thing about habits is they actually encourage us to think less. They put us on autopilot. Our habitual behaviors, driving to work, brushing your teeth, pulling out a beer after a hard day, they're unconscious. So the behavior is unconscious, but also the reasons we drink, the beliefs about alcohol, those have become unconscious. So what happens? What happens is somebody makes a conscious desire to drink less. And that desire, that determination to drink less can almost be impossible to adhere to because your larger unconscious mind, it missed the memo. And unconscious learning happens automatically, unintentionally. It happens through experiences, observations, conditioning, and practice. We've been conditioned to believe that we enjoy drinking. We think it enhances our social life. We think it relieves boredom and stress. We believe these things actually below our conscious awareness. This is why even after we consciously acknowledge that alcohol might be taking more than it gives, we retain this desire to drink. And there's neurological changes that occur in your brain that support this. They compound this unconscious desire and they make this craving and desire for alcohol even stronger. So, information suggesting the benefits of alcohol, it's all around us, yet we're rarely conscious that it exists. According to the Neuro-Linguistic Programming Model, or the NLP, we're assaulted with over 2 million bits of data every second, but we're only consciously aware of 7 bits of those information per second. So television, movies, advertising, social gatherings, they all influence our beliefs. From childhood, we've observed, with very few exceptions, our parents, friends, acquaintances drinking and appearing to enjoy it. These images teach our unconscious mind that alcohol is pleasurable, relaxing, sophisticated. Your opinions about alcohol and your desire to drink, they spring from lifelong mental conditioning of your unconscious mind. And this desire has likely been compounded by these specific neurological changes in your brain. So, what do you do about it? How do you eliminate the desire to drink? By changing your unconscious, you can actually eliminate the desire. Because like most things that become beliefs, we believe that alcohol is beneficial, like we believe the sky is blue. But by exposing these unconscious beliefs, we can strip away which is false. We can convince the all-powerful unconscious mind and then allow harmony and agreement between the conscious decision to drink less and this unconscious desire for alcohol. Now, this is really important because often what happens is we make a conscious decision to drink less, but we still retain this unconscious desire, and then a fissure happens. We have cognitive dissonance. We start arguing with ourselves. We can't understand why it's not just easy, why we still want something, and why we feel so miserable and deprived when we are relying on willpower and not allowing ourselves to have it. And what happens in that situation is a great deal of pain because you're doubting your own decisions, you're doubting your own motivations. You don't understand why you retain a desire, an inexplicable desire for something you've consciously decided to give up. And you start to truly hate yourself. There's a lot of self-loathing in addiction. And I believe this self-loathing comes from cognitive dissonance, this internal split between your conscious desire to drink less and your far more powerful unconscious retained belief that alcohol is beneficial. So in order to fix this, we need to go in and uncover these unconscious beliefs. And it's really interesting because your unconscious mind often works without the knowledge of the conscious mind. So these behaviors that happen, they can be completely mystifying. Studies as far back as 1970 prove that our brains actually prepare for action a third of a second before we consciously decide to act. That means even when we think we're making conscious decisions, our unconscious mind is actually making the decisions for us. You can easily test this and reveal the extent to which your unconscious mind controls your conscious decisions. Just remember a day when you were in a bad mood for no reason. You just couldn't pinpoint what was wrong. You just felt completely grumpy. If your conscious mind controlled your emotions, you could simply think, I'm going to be happy, and your mood would change from grumpy to sunny. Have you tried that? Did it work? I know when I'm in a bad mood, a conscious thought to just be happier, or worse, somebody just telling me to just smile, it does nothing to improve my mood. It often does the opposite. This is because your conscious mind doesn't control your emotions. So how does the unconscious feel about alcohol? We've been trained to believe that it provides pleasure, enjoyment, and support, that it's vital to social life and relaxation. Yet once we can start to consciously examine and pull apart each of these beliefs, say, why do we believe that? Where is it coming from? What experiences have contributed to it? And then compare these beliefs to objective reality, we can actually change our unconscious desire for alcohol. And when that happens, magically, your conscious and your unconscious mind are in harmony, and your decisions around alcohol to stop drinking or drink less become easy, happy, and you find complete freedom.